typically don't smoke cigars with tequila unless it's an extra añejo, or like the Jose Cuervo family traditions. Have you seen that one? It's in the multicolored box. So it's about a $200 bottle of tequila, but it's finished in a sherry cask.
Okay.
So it tastes very much like a single malt whiskey that's been finished in a sherry cask.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of trends in the industry. I see 4-grain coming up a lot. We just did a local 4-grain vodka. I've seen a lot of 4-grain whiskeys. But I noticed that the sherry cask, like everyone's doing the sherry cask.
It's a level of depth and sweetness that you can add to something that's spent time in a bourbon barrel and do it quickly. So, for example, if you take Glenmorangie La Santa, red wine cask, you do that like this Palo Cortado in a couple of years or less. You can really impart some big flavors. Where if you're putting it like in a dessert wine cask, like a Chateau de Kim, you're going to impart flavor, maybe not as much. Probably over a longer period of time, you get a little more. What they're doing, they're taking those barrels that have had the sherries and the wines in them, and they're recharring them. And just the longer they sit in them, the more they draw out of the wood that was there, right? Because it's empty, and they've recharred it because there's no sherry mixed in with it. It's the different types of wood you use. Mm-hmm. So we have rules, right? Bourbon has to be in a brand new oak cask that's never had anything in it before. Well, so what is there an abundance of? Bourbon barrels. So they're going to go to wine country, or they're going to go to rum, or they're going to go to Scotland to put scotch in, right? And so you're going to get that first 8 to 10 years in a bourbon barrel. Well, you don't want them to all taste the same, and they won't necessarily, but they're going to be similar, right? Bourbons are similar. Mm-hmm. They're all 51% corn. So you've got a level of sweetness. You're going to change that by changing your mash bill, or how long you leave it in the barrel, or the type of yeast you use, or where it was in the rack house, right? So
or even the type of water you use.
So in Scotland, each distillery has different water sources. They have different size stills, very similar yeasts probably all across the board. But when you finish it in a different type of cask, so with sherries, you have Oloroso and Amontillado and Manzanilla. So you get those different levels. They impart different flavors. Some are bigger and bolder. Some are softer and lighter. So quickly, you can change the flavor of your whiskey if you feel the need to. Some people take Glenmorangie Original at 10 years old. It's an amazing whiskey. But put it in a Ruby Port cask, and it becomes Quinta Ruban,